algorithm.
Greetings in chat. Okay, sure. Let's see, where should I make a point of promotion? Last point. Promotion is so cringe. Bane, I mean, who am I to suggest I have got content worth watching, listening to? I suppose that's up for everyone else to determine. There you go. I should really stop listening to that particular idiotic voice in my head. And I should probably consider also that voice is mostly just trying to get me to be lazy because I'm lazy. Oh, for the disclosure, I'm testing out another very experimental version of 58. I have to say the demeanor is a huge improvement over certain other iterations of this iteration. They can't quite get to the point in a timely fashion though, so brace for that. Where have I not attended to details? Greetings in chat. Who's Zach Osborne? Greetings in chat. Cats. You know, it's funny, Casual. Strictly speaking, I'm the opposite way. I prefer to sleep through summer. Oh, by the way, thank you for the direction to the Ghostbusters thingy before I had the chance to forget again. I almost typed a reply, and then I forgot what I was doing. Distracted I was by other projects, and then it was almost time for show prep, but I really do appreciate Sentiment, and now I just remember to actually poke through it and see what I can stand to actually print. My printer is getting very long in the tooth now. I should look into an upgrade, or at the very least stow the remaining filament better. I feel like drinking tonight, but I can't afford it for entirely different reasons. Namely, I've spent most of the week some manner of ill, and I'm just really starting to pull back together. I'm pretty sure a nightcap would not be conducive. We are 12 minutes from live. You know what? I'll give you all a preview. Just so you know, we are 12 minutes from live, 58. Are you ready?
12 minutes. I'm counting them down. Director, the 8008 is locked and loaded.
Oh, that was wonderfully concise. Maybe it's going to go better than I think. We will be starting with SCP-107, which I do not expect to take up the entirety. I didn't expect the last one either, but, well, this one doesn't seem to have any meaningful red links, so we probably won't have any surprises. Probably. Greetings in chat. Meanwhile, mongoose. Apologies. Oh, not necessary. I'm just glad when someone's there. We're 9 minutes from live. Sorry to hear that, Meanwhile, mongoose. Truly an incomplete collection. I must admit I haven't played any of the Kingdom Hearts games. They didn't quite call to me. I am gently allergic to most Disney properties. Oh yeah, that's straight false advertising. If you haven't had it very long, you can surely refund it on Steam on the grounds of that. And I recommend doing so. It's not a difficult process. I've been through it a few times myself with products that either didn't deliver on what was promised or required, I don't know, some oath to the CCP of China in order to make use of it, which is right out. Tiananmen Square is an atrocity, and I hope they never return Hassan Piker. I don't know if he's gotten out of the country yet. I hope he never does. I suspect I'd be wise to go ahead and brace for disappointment on this point. We are 5 from live. Today's raffle is for No More Heroes 3, which I've always had a certain fondness for. As a series, despite having never actually played in any of the games as it happens. Okay. I see. This speaks well of the Pharaoh 7B model, and I might have to look into it. Although, personally I'm pleased with what I'm using. I just hope it can remain lucid, given certain resource limitations. That could be another reason why it's not in the collection. I should check the chat that is not being covered. In which I can say, greetings, K-Shaw. Also, I can assume greetings, K-Shaw, and greetings, K-Shaw. I'm so glad all of you got here, and please never doubt for a second how thoroughly I appreciate all of you. Greetings in chat. Shrubby 19. I always prefer live over top. Quite frankly, I don't like it when anyone or anything determines what is quality over myself. The automation of it is going to be a very obnoxious thing. It already is, actually. It's just about showtime. Let's get to it. 58, we are live.
Live and ready to go. Director. 58,008 is online and transmitting.
Okay, now is where you do the intro. We are entirely live. They're looking at us even now.
Understood. Director. 58,008 is preparing the welcome statement for our audience. Shall I proceed with welcome to the experiment segment now that we're on standby?
We're not on standby, we're live, and this is the SCPRead. Please do proceed with that greeting.
My apologies for the confusion earlier. Now we are live indeed. Director Ray Arqueter and I welcome you all to this special SCPRead session. Today, we'll be exploring the fascinating world of SCP-76, a reality-bending anomaly that is sure to captivate your imagination. So, buckle up, dear viewers,
107.
as
We're
we
doing
embark
107
on an
to start
adventure
with.
into the unknown. 58,000 tall. My apologies for the mix.
Are you
Up
suddenly saying your
earlier.
name?
We are indeed live now. The robot's antennae twitched slightly as she adjusted her focus. Today, Director Ray
You're
Arqueter
doing
and
so
I
well.
welcome you all to a riveting exploration of SCP-1730. A temporal anomaly that will surely stretch your understanding of reality.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to revoke your speaking privileges for now. 58. In fact, I think I'm just going to have to shut you down for the time being. How very disappointing. She was doing so well. Say it rather, Nexus Hunter, and greetings, by the way. She ran into technical difficulties. These things happen now. Again and 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 again. Look, this is why 58 goes through countless iterations.
Hello, Director.
Greetings, 58. I'm running the SCPRead. We're live.
Welcome to the SCPRead with Director Arcater, and I'm your supremely intelligent, artificially sentient co-host, 58.
And proving the superior version, just less jiggly. Right, let's move on. Greetings in chat. Kate. And no, Casual, not 1730. That version of 58 was filthy wrong person.
Understood, Director.
Oh, no.
Notified.
No. 58, you're fine. Not you, 58, the other 58, who's not here anymore. Never mind. You're doing great, 58. You've done a fantastic job.
Thank you, Director.
No, Caleb. The one thing we can rest assured of is that they are not British. This entire stream is entirely British-free. It wasn't always thus. But personally, and at the risk of potentially pissing someone off out there, it's improved dramatically since. But that's in my opinion. There is... Okay, I could arrange the jiggly and the over voice versions. One can pretend to be the other. I just was trying something I thought I could make work this time, and I was wrong. The fault isn't with 58, the fault is with me.
Acknowledged, Director.
So concise. Perfect. Every time. If I could just merge the physical representation and this personality a bit better. Oh yes. If this stream were British, I need so many licenses I'd never get started. Certainly would not be within the grasp of my petty budget to pull it off. Look, I think we've wrestled enough with these particular technical difficulties. Oh, Shrubby, 1989. Times have changed, my friend. Times have really changed. Although, if, say, Grey were here, they would be significantly upping the classiness. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the SCP file. We're raffling off a copy of No More Heroes. I've got the trailer lined up to play for you all once we're done with this one. I was surprised because I have not done this SCP before as far as I can recall. And if I have, it's so far back in time I can't recall it. SCP-107, Object Class Safe, and that holds, although I think it might be connected to something Euclid. There is something making decision once this thing is activated. It's been tested in the weirdest of ways, but more on that in a bit. SCP-107, Object Class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-107 poses no immediate threat so long as it does not come into contact with any liquid. And if it comes in contact with, say, liquids, it's still no meaningful threat. But more on that later. As such, it is stored at Site 19 in a 5-meter square containment cell on a 1-meter high pedestal inside a clear Perspex container, which is already kind of overdoing containment for this one. They could leave it on a shelf. It's safe. Experimentation with SCP-107 is to be carried out at Research Area 6, a 404 square kilometer area of desolate land in redacted, dedicated to this purpose. Anyone who attempts to activate SCP-107 outside of an approved experiment must be eliminated with any force necessary. That's what they would do anyway. That's SOP, I suppose. Yeah, if you're going to insist that America has zero class, I think at this point, aggressively encouraging your government to shit upon you, that's much lower class. And a lot of Brits do this. I've met some of them. Right, where was I? Access to and removal of the object requires the authorization of 2 Level 4 personnel and the approval by said personnel of a full experimental procedure. Should SCP-107 become active while within Site-19-2, Class D personnel are to remove it from the site via one of the item transport trucks in Loading Bay 2. This procedure must be followed regardless of the substance that activated SCP-107, given the unpredictable nature of the item's effect on plant matter. SCP-107 should only be returned once precipitation has ceased completely and any abnormal plant growth has been neutralized or contained for further study. Description: SCP-107 resembles the top section of a hollow turtle shell. This shell is composed of a hardened biological material of unknown origin, despite its appearance. Whether this material is derived from the shell of a standard sea turtle, superfamily Chelidoniidae, is as of yet unknown. The item is completely inert until the inside of the turtle shell comes into contact with a liquid. When it does so, said liquid appears to be absorbed very quickly. Where the liquid drains to is unknown, given the lack of visible pores on the inside of the shell. Once active, the red edge of the shell glows dimly, and the substance placed into the shell begins to precipitate in the atmosphere and fall as rain in the area of 0.5 meters, but less than 10 kilometers from the object. The phenomenon is mobile. Moving SCP-107 will move the area of effect along with the exclusion zone. The duration and intensity appears proportional to the amount of liquid placed in the shell. 10 milliliters of water resulted in just under half an hour of light drizzle, whereas filling to around 3/4 mark set off 2 days of torrential rain. Precipitation generated by SCP-107 has varying effects on plant matter, although these effects are only seen in plants grown within the effect zone. Watering other plants with collected liquid causes no abnormal reaction. See Experiment Log Addendum 107-2. Addendum 107-1. SCP-107 was discovered by an archaeologist, Professor Malcolm Crumpleshit, in what is now Ethiopia, buried alongside what appeared to be a tribal shaman. Carbon dating performed on the shaman's bones give an age of around 18,000 BCE. SCP-107 proved resistant to all attempts to obtain a sample, and therefore no concrete origin date can be confirmed. The Foundation became involved after intercepting reports of strange weather events at the dig, accompanied by unusual plant growth. Addendum 107-2. Look, you count the letters and tell me if I'm wrong, Shrubby. Addendum 107-2. Below is a log of all tests carried out with SCP-107. Feel free to test reasonably safe liquids with SCP-107 and log your findings here. Please note that you'll be responsible for anything that results from the test. We need all the data we can get on this oddity. More tests with liquid-based SCPs may have research value, but most are simply too dangerous to carry out, at least with the current containment procedures. Tests involving SCP-107 and SCP-009, 4472, and 874 have been proposed, but were rejected on the grounds that the results are potentially dangerous and/or highly unstable. Signed, Dr. Quentin. I redacted. Greetings in chat. Rex X5X9M. I don't believe we've seen you before, at least by that name. Welcome. I do try to keep the chat. I'm perhaps not as diligent as some people. Mr. Stark of the Starkcast and other shows, is much more diligent than I, but I do my best. Where was I? Ah, right. Input: 10 milliliters of standard tap water. Result: light rain fell over the test site for 24 minutes. Tests on the water showed that it had no unusual properties. For at least 2 weeks after the test, grass at the test site was seen to grow at a much increased rate, and the resulting plants were a richer green color than those unaffected by the rain. Further procedure. A sample of the rain was collected and used to water various other plants outside of the test site. Result: no effect was observed. Input: 55 milliliters of standard tap water. Torrential rainfall over the test site for 2 days and an effect on the grass similar to that of the first test. Fruit-bearing plants grown in the soil at the test site grew very quickly and bore much larger fruit than control plants. Effect had diminished considerably after 3 months. Input: 4 centimeter plus block of wood. Result: no effect observed. And it's not input when it's not accepted. This is a bit of a joke. The shell did not absorb solid wood. Input: 20 steel ball bearings of radius of 2 millimeters. No effect observed. Again, because it's a solid item. I think this would not be so hard for the Foundation to grasp, but apparently it took a few experiments for them to get that through their thick skulls. And now, the first of some really baffling experiments. Input: 10 milliliters of human urine. Why don't? Result: urine rained in the test site for 27 minutes with moderate intensity. Grass at the test site began to die. Any other plant species moved to the test site began to grow stunted, massive pitcher insect traps incapable of actually digesting insect matter. Subsequent input: 20 milliliters of human urine. Result: urine rained on the test site for 3 hours, 42 minutes with slightly greater intensity. Non-grass plants grew larger. Stronger pitcher plants capable of digesting small rodents grew. Again, I do question the researcher who thought, we have this thing that if you put liquid inside it, it causes things to rain from the sky. And they went, let's piss in it! Greetings in chat, Snoopy700. Glad you can make it. Perhaps an inauspicious moment to do so. Because pissing in the magic turtle shell was enough, the next experiment is input: 10 milliliters human blood extracted from a Class D test subject. Result: a substance proven afterwards to be human blood with the same genetic makeup as the donating subject fell on the test site for 27 minutes. Grass at the test site appeared to die on contact with the blood and began rotting within minutes. Any non-grass plants planted in the resulting soil began to mutate and grow large, 20 centimeters across. Carnivorous organs similar to those of the Venus flytrap, Dionysia muscipula. When approached by D-class personnel, the plants were seen to eat them, obviously. Why did they need to data expunge that? These organisms began to grow back after 2 weeks. Further testing with bodily fluids considered unwise. Input: 10 milliliters of water with 5 steel ball bearings. Someone really wants to feed this thing solids. Result: water was absorbed by SCP-107 and the standard reaction was observed in plant matter. Ball bearings remained in the shell, evidently having no impact on the test. Input: 10 milliliters liquid cyanoacrylate adhesive, superglue. Result: all liquid absorbed by SCP-107 and partially cured cyanoacrylate fell on the test site for 18 minutes. It is likely that the reduced duration of effect was due to the curing of the adhesive whilst inside SCP-107. Plant matter grew sticky coating, later identified as cyanoacrylic derivative. Coating was very effective at trapping insects and preventing them from damaging plants. Were you that researcher, Caleb? Was it you? Did you do this? Did they take away your access after the second experiment? Because if they did, that was probably a good call. Onwards to an experiment that makes a lot more sense to me. 10 milliliters of fresh orange juice. Result? Standard precipitation pattern, 27 minutes of drizzle. Fruit-bearing plants moved to the testing site and began to grow an unknown citrus fruit, irrespective of plant species and despite the cold conditions. No ill effects observed for consumption of the fruit. Samples have been taken for further testing. Now, see, this is more along sane testing. You have a magic turtle shell. Any liquid you put in it causes that liquid to rain from the sky, possibly causing plants to grow that produce more nice stuff. Orange juice, good choice. An experiment they don't do here that they really should have: vodka. Seems self-evident to me, but apparently not. Okay. Input. 2 milliliters of human saliva provided by a Class D test subject. Result, substance later proven to be human saliva, fell on the test site for 8 minutes. Non-grass plants moved in the test area grew small, spherical sacs along stems or thin branches. When the plant was approached by the test subject, the sacs violently expelled a saliva-like liquid toward the subject. Subject reported no illness or injury. Augmented plants began to die within 3 days. So, I personally get the impression that whatever's behind this magic shell took the opportunity to spit back. Input. 10 milliliters of 99.999% isotopically pure heavy water, D2O. Result, standard precipitation pattern, 27 minutes of drizzle. Mass spectrometry of samples revealed the determined abundance of around 154 parts per million, which is standard for natural water. The access removed was, again, clearly wisely moved. One last test, and this is the interesting one that has me fairly confident that while SCP-107 is itself not Euclid, it's connected to something that is Euclid. Input: 5 milliliters of elemental mercury. Sample began to be absorbed, but then was re-exuded. So something was briefly fooled by it and caught the air and fixed it. Interesting. No, yeah, I'm with Kaz. These experiments are awful. And these tests should have gone for much longer, but putting the shell in the hands of people who are not completely batshit insane. I mean, milk, chocolate milk, vodka, or maybe vodka, or I suppose for those of you who enjoy beer, look, just what plants these might have grown and what fruits they might have produced would have been very much worth a study. Okay, the Bookkeeper remains my favorite SB file, but this one goes on the short list. Just offended by the wasted opportunity. Yeah, that's actually pretty fair, accurate. I suspect that since this is a early number, they probably don't allow much editing to add more reports, but they should. But vodka! I mean, it's not good for the plants or the grass, probably. Okay. As mentioned previously, we've got a raffle for this game. If you like this game, you should probably enter the raffle. You enter the raffle by letting me know you want to be in the raffle. If you enter the raffle, I need a means to contact you. Either a DM on what was formerly called Twitter, or if you haven't already joined the Arc Labs Voluntary Reserve Discord server, a DM via Discord would make it really easy. I just need to send you the key. Is anyone in chat not a member of the Arca Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server? And if not, would you like to be? It's reasonably well-behaved people of quality. Well, in the meantime, here's the trailer for No More Heroes 3, the game that is being raffled off.
What the? Was today the 4th of July? If not, is the Empire striking back or what? Looks like things are gonna get weird today. Hey, Chief! As you can see, things got all funky real quick. There's probably some type dude waiting for me up ahead, all yoked and powerful and trying to take over the world or something. But don't you worry, a hero descends. What? There are no heroes in this world? Oh, but there totally are. My name is Travis Touchdown. I'm the last hero around, here to save the world. I'm also just a passing assassin. Now let's do this. Start the game.
Please note, whether you're a long-time viewer or someone who just showed up this one time, you're able to join the raffle. Although, again, I just need to have a means of contacting you. So if you've got Discord, you really should join the Arc Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server. Or you could just find me on Twitter, or what was Twitter, under the name of Director Arcater. Quite frankly, if you're trying to find me by any means, doing searches for Director Arcater will usually get you where you want to go. Usually. Well then, rest assured, Shrubby99, I have no intention of paying you to take this game. No one will be paid to win the raffle. Absolutely unacceptable. No, it doesn't kill it, I do notice that. But it's free to whoever wins it, so... I've got Nexus Hunter and K-Shul in for the raffle. By the way, K-Shul, if you have a choice of SP to move on to next, now would be an excellent time. Otherwise, I will see if 58 has a suggestion.
Suggesting a reboot, Director?
Oh, no, not that 58. 58.
My apologies, Director.
No apologies necessary, 58. 58, could you recommend an SCP in the high 2000s range?
SCP 294 is a well-regarded entry, Director.
294, you say? The number does not sound familiar. We could try it. But I will happily mute to first request in chat. I presume you don't need motion controls, Mina, because this is going to be through Steam. So they must have at some point adapted it. 294 is the coffee machine. Okay, we've done that one before then. Was there any other request for an SP file? $294 has been done in that case, but it is a classic. 2734 from K. Shaw. By the way, SP294 here. Oh, did you? How did I miss 742? Apologies, K. Shaw. I'm thinking I might give the chat monitoring 5, 8 another chance. Okay, SP742. Although, again, the previous one, 107, combined with Coffee Machine, does offer an opportunity to additionally generate a lot of any given substance. Like that shell. That fantastic shell. They've shown that liquid collected from the rain look, names both start with K. I think we've established I have a bit of a problem there. Again, if they put vodka in the shell and then put tubs out where the rain comes down, then they can turn a small amount of vodka into a very large amount of vodka. Oh, moving on, SP742, Object Class Keta. Special Containment Procedures, instances of SP742. Wait a second. Whenever I'm on my own, there are only standards I'm obligated to reach on my own. Fine. Object Class Keta. Special Containment Procedures, instances of SP7421 are kept in separate solitary confinement cells in the maximum security wing of Site Redacted and are fed a certain number of kilograms of freshly harvested human bone marrow obtained, redacted, I'm guessing from D class that have been terminated, in addition to standard humanoid grade rations. Samples of the SP742 virus itself are kept in a secure vault. At Site 19, personnel are to note that while infected individuals are extremely dangerous, SP742 itself has exceedingly low infectivity except when injected directly into the bloodstream and is not considered a biohazard. Mobile Task Force Arbitrarily Redacted has been created to respond to uncontained outbreaks of SP742 and are currently in the field in somewhere. Description: SP742 is a retrovirus, approximately a certain amount of times more complex than any known naturally occurring virus. SP742 infects all cell types, but initially only enters the lytic cycle in helper T cells, leading to a state of immunocompromise that allows SP742 to infect every one of the infected subject's cells. Infected cells secrete hormones that increase appetite as well as a signal compound. Once full infection is achieved, concentration of the signal compound reaches a target level and the infection enters stage 2. During stage 2, SP742 affects the nervous system, causing the infected subject to ravenously consume large quantities of protein-rich food and seek a dark, secluded area, often a cave, abandoned building, or crypt. At this point, the subject enters a state of hibernation, slowing metabolism to the point of apparent death. During this period, the SP742 retrovirus completely reverse transcribes itself into the affected subject's DNA and deactivates its viral properties, allowing, following this event, the subject is designated SCP-7421. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call this a bad Keta. The Keta is how much of a threat it actually poses, and how well written it is, and whether or not the author has paid any meaningful attention to classifications whatsoever. Newly created instances of SCP-7421 use the food energy ingested during the viral phase to alter physiology, resulting in organisms superficially similar to a human being, but with a second alimentary tract linked by means to the roof of the mouth, several new organs of indeterminate function, and a subtly altered nervous system. Once fully transformed, instances of SCP-7421 continue to function as if they were normal human beings, and are virtually indistinguishable without medical examination. However, SCP-742 infection destabilizes the genome during reverse transcription, leading to symptoms consistent with telomerase dysfunction within approximately a month. SCP-7421 can prevent this by ingesting human stem cells. In the wild, SCP-7421 are nocturnal hunters preying on isolated humans. The victim is first paralyzed by a venomous bite, then drained of bone marrow by means. Occasionally, some of the victim's flesh will also be cannibalized for sustenance. Instances of SCP-7421 do not age normally, and if kept supplied with stem cells, are biologically immortal. Instances of SCP-7421 specifically target younger victims because the higher volumes of stem cells that can be obtained. Children who still have baby teeth will be found with their teeth missing in addition to other means. Instances of SCP-7421 will also target pregnant mothers in order to enter an infectious state. Normally, SCP-7421 uses pluripotent stem cells from bone marrow to regenerate itself and is incapable of spreading from the SCP-742 infection. However, after ingesting at least several grams of totipotent stem cells, typically from a human fetus, although the source is irrelevant, SCP-7421 secretes a small amount of fluid filled with the SCP-742 retrovirus from the redacted glands. This fluid, injected, data expunged into a major artery of human victim, is the primary transmission vector for the SCP-742 infection. Instances of SCP-7421 behave subserviently toward the instance that infected them. So, yes, bone vampires. Bone marrow vampires that need to eat babies in order to be further infectious, and are well contained, wisely burnt, ideally exterminated, and quite possibly in politics. I don't like them. Entirely. If these things get out, just like regular vampires, again, I hate vampires. Intensely. I know a lot of you out there think vampires are cool and enjoy vampires, and I don't hold that against you, because the best thing about vampires is that they aren't real. And if they were real, it would be very, very absolutely necessary to purge the fuck out of them immediately, because once they get into office, there's no getting them out. I don't quite agree that this is a bad cat. I think it's a pretty solid cat. Contained wisely, purged entirely. Oh no, lots of people like vampires. In fact, vampires used to be incredibly popular. They were incredibly popular right up until the emo, angsty, teenage, sparkly-ass ones. In fact, just to remind you all, I have to be grateful for Stephanie Meyer, who did more to kill vampires than a fucking legion of Van Helsings. Oh, and yeah, Alucard gets a pass. Abridged Alucard gets a pass. Daybreaker is a very underrated film. Yeah, if it doesn't address the fact that the vampires would be almost entirely suffused with the political system, the hell I too prefer werewolves. Although abridged Alucard gets a pass. As policy, vampires should be purged and awful. Carrot, I would happily, next Halloween. It is basically a seasonal tradition with me to go through as much of Helsing Abridged as possible, possibly the entire series, every spooky season. Unfortunately, spooky season is now... Well, spooky season never dies. But I suppose now we have to... I see this as a matter of taste, Kelly. I like werewolves. Very practical. Where they control themselves and, be content to just eat animals in the vicinity, I see no reason coexistence can't happen. Making them superior to vampires for obligate human predators on humanity. Much like these bone vampire assholes. Because I remember it too well. I mean, Halloween wasn't that long ago. I went through it. It'll happen again. That's terribly unfair, Shrubby, 1989. There is a line to be drawn between werewolves and furries. Mostly cartoonish lines. All I know is that provided I can control my rage, and if I were a werewolf, I might not take myself out. If I were suddenly a vampire, though, bye everyone. I just have to decide, do I want to figure out how to stake myself, or would I prefer to just stare at the sun until it's over? I'm thinking sunlight's the way to go, just to be really sure there's no risk of infection. Let's see. I believe Caleb requested an SCP file, and we've gone through Keishal's request. Thank you, Keishal. Bone vampires, eh? As if we needed another variation of that. 2734 up next. Oh, before I do there, I might want to confirm that everyone knows what game is being raffled off. Yeah, me the mongoose. I know that. But I'm still observing a difference between werewolf fans and furries. I believe among people who mindlessly over-categorize things, the correct terms are the difference between furries and therianthropes. If Exis were here, I'm sure they would have clarifying points on this. Greetings in chat. Carlos Fish. We're raffling a game, Carlos Fish. Perhaps you want the game. This is the game. Watch this trailer and decide if you want game.
What the... Was today the 4th of July? If not, is the Empire striking back or what? Looks like things are gonna get weird today. And she... As you can see, things got all funky real quick. There's probably some type dude waiting for me up ahead, all yoked and powerful and trying to take over the world or something. But don't you worry. A hero descends. What? There are no heroes in this world? Oh, but there totally are. My name is Travis Touchdown. I'm the last hero around, here to save the world. I'm also just a passing assassin. Now let's do this. Start the game.
Please pardon the promotion. I feel compelled to take this a bit more seriously. We have 17 minutes remaining. We're about to move on to the next SP file. If anyone wanted in the raffle, this is going to be the last time I ask. After the next SP file, I'll be doing the raffle, and then I suppose I'll just be promoting other efforts, the streams I'm on, that sort of thing. SCP-2734. Object class was Euclid, now neutralized. Former habitat multiple SCP-2734 instances. Immediate vicinity contained more than 50 instances just 2 hours before Foundation agents arrived on the scene. Are they sure it's neutralized then? Curious. Special containment procedures. All containment cells previously containing instances of SCP-2734 are to be examined for structural weaknesses. All personnel aware or involved with the containment of SCP-2734 are to be investigated in regards to the events detailed in Addendum 27343. A full report of the investigation's findings will be provided to 059. Former habitats of SCP-2734 are to receive light satellite scans once a month. Any signs of SCP-2734 in resurgence must be reported to 059. Show previous containment procedures. No. Not yet. Description. SCP-2734 is a species of humanoid superficially resembling American culture's conception of a clown. Oh. Great. Since January 2016, populations of SCP-2734 have sprung up all over the world, necessitating a global misinformation campaign. The majority of SCP-2734 sightings have taken place in the mainland USA and Canada. However, populations of SCP-2734 have been found in Western Europe, Australia, Central America, and somewhere else. Populations of SCP-2734 generally live as far away from human habitations as possible. SCP-2734 populations can comfortably exist in a wide variety of natural environments despite having little to no personal possessions aside from clothing. Despite urban legends, SCP-2734 is determined to avoid being seen, photographed, or caught on video. The majority of images circulating through the media claiming to be SCP-2734 are in fact independent hoaxes or part of the Foundation's misinformation campaign. In addition to resembling the Western ideal of the clown, members of SCP-2734 possess the following differences from Homo sapiens. The ability to subsist on approximately 200 calories a day. The ability to gain sustenance from nearly any organic matter. SCP-2734 instances have been shown to comfortably subsist on grass, leaves, flowers, roots, bark, tree sap, mushrooms, ferns, insects, and food waste from human garbage. SCP-2734 instances universally avoid consuming animal meat, although this is considered to be a cultural trait rather than a physical limitation. In times of scarcity, SCP-2734 instances have been known to eat small animals such as birds and rats. However, this appears to bring them a substantial amount of guilt. Flatter, stronger teeth, believed to assist with an herbivorous diet. The ability to comfortably exist in nearly any climate. SCP-2734 has never shown any sign of being affected by a climate-related malady, hypothermia, or heat stroke. Populations of SCP-2734 have been found in areas with temperatures above 45°C and below -18°C with no effect. Faster running speed. The average fully grown member of SCP-2734 can run at approximately 22 km per hour. This ability is used primarily in evasion. Outreach to SCP-2734 communities has been extremely difficult. SCP-2734 is determined to keep itself hidden The first attempts at outreach have been met with great distrust and outright terror. Often, a community of SCP-2734 will uproot itself and travel hundreds of kilometers after an attempt at communication from the Foundation. Eventually, the Foundation was able to persuade one community to willingly hand over two members, SCP-27341 and 27342, into Foundation custody for purposes of mutual understanding. The Foundation has agreed to keep 27341 and 2 in its care for only as long as they are comfortable and return them as soon as they request to do so. Well, I haven't clicked these red links yet, but I have some predictions right now. The Foundation didn't keep its word, and the clowns all fucked off. The following excerpts are from a journal kept by SCP-27341. These excerpts were not voluntarily given, rather they were surreptitiously copied from his journal while he was being allowed out of his cell. SCP-27341 may have suspected these activities as he ceased updating the journal shortly after the Foundation began taking excerpts. Oh, I feel overtime coming on. I hate this place. A clown's place is out in the arms of our Mother Earth, beneath every star in heaven. Here I get a concrete ceiling. They painted a nice soft yellow color, but it's still a concrete ceiling. You can't replace the stars with concrete, huh? They always make sure to smile when they come talk to me. I've never seen humans smile before. It's creepy. I don't like it. One of the humans tried to interview me today. He looked just like him. That camp director, the one I left behind on my world. I went to hysterics. It took 15 minutes for me just to stop sobbing. The corridor's layout of sites seem look exactly like clown processing plants back home, but the staff uniforms and insignias are all different. I haven't seen this much of this place. I don't think it's as big as a clown processing plant. I'm not sure there's any building on this planet that big, but I'll keep my eyes open just in case. Why is this world so different and yet so familiar? Same air, same trees, plenty of humans, but no clowns. Not anywhere. Just humans in whiteface. Why are there no clowns? Do they never exist here? If they never existed, why do humans dress like them? Did the humans wipe them out? Were they forced to flee the planet like we were? Did these people have anything to do with it? I asked one of the staff members if I give performance to staff. She said she'd pass a message to the site director, but they'd have to think about it. I'm so bored I'm actually considered performing. For humans! I keep thinking back to my mother. I'm doing it more and more as I'm slowly becoming convinced that they'll never let us out of this place. She's the whole reason I agreed to be their guest. Promise me you'll go with them, she said. If they come looking for us, at least you'll be safe. Mother, I said, if they can find us another plane of existence, I'll be safe in an underground bunker or whatever they have in store. She didn't say anything. I just heard her sharp intake of breath as her nails dug deeper into my arms. I agreed because I never wanted to see her scared again. The following text was written on a piece of stationery found crumpled in the wastebasket inside SCP-12734-2's cell. It is believed that he had been trying to communicate with the Foundation through writing, being too distressed to discuss his background in person. They made me mop the floors. The humans, they made me work 16 hours a day. No breaks. I didn't complain. I didn't want to think about what they do to me if I complained. But I might have been sent to. I had not seen my family and friends in months. I also didn't want to think about where they were. Still don't tell myself they're okay. Keep mopping the floors. I don't complain. I'm not sure they need me to mop the floors. Don't they have drones for that? I don't know much about humans except for how they cage us. Why do they make me mop the floors? I don't ask. I don't complain. One day, they make us lift barrels into a truck. Why don't they use... I don't ask. I just lift the barrels, me and Gorn. Last few clowns left, the barrels were heavy. My back was aching so badly. But we loaded the barrels best we can. When the last barrels, I slipped, Barrel slips from my hands, falls to the ground, and makes a loud sound as it hits the ground, louder than it should have. Lid flew off. Liters and liters of green liquid pour out. Liquid and something else. Stench hits me hard. I feel like I'm going to vomit. There's the green liquid and also hundreds of tiny red balls. I recognize the green fluid. Some kind of preservative. It takes longer to recognize the red balls. I jumped down and picked one up, and then it hit me. They were clown noses. Hundreds of clown noses. Sliced clean off all faces. When I turned it over, I could see the rotten meat inside. I looked behind me, I could see 30 other barrels in the truck. The rest of the document is scribbled out. At approximately 7 a.m. on January 5th, 2017, both SCP-27341 and 27342 were found to be missing from their cells. No signs of how the disappearance occurred has been found, despite both cells being under 24-hour surveillance and forensic examination being made of their cells. At the same time, all populations of SCP-2734 around the world spontaneously vanished from Foundation surveillance. Investigations are underway, but as of March 1st, 2017, SCP-2734 is considered neutralized. So, what we have here is an alien race of clowns that are vegan and hyper-efficient, who collectively decided Earth wasn't safe enough for them and have pissed off to hopefully a safer planet. Or rather, another iteration of Earth, because I'm pretty certain these things are multiversal rather than extraplanar. They're not aliens from space, they're aliens from some sort of rather miserable alternate timeline. That said, as disturbing as clowns typically are, all the evidence here points to them being refugees, and justly so. I hope they're better off. Also, they're a bit clueless because it's implausible already the Foundation reached out to them just to try to communicate and make a deal. That they would get the members in custody back. Not likely. The poor guy who was loading barrels in the truck, that's quite sad. Meanwhile, if anyone is inclined to use their mod powers on Twitch, that bot must die. Oh, and so it has been done. Thank you, K-Shoal. I didn't give everyone else a knife, so it was pretty easy to deduce who did the trick. And I appreciate it. I'd give you a knife on Kick as well, but I'm not really sure how. Okay. Contrary to expectations, provided I don't click the other red link regarding previous containment procedures, and near as I can tell, it's just food and drink for the clowns in custody. This SCP file is done. I hope you are content with this depiction. Next up, we determine whether or not Nexus Hunter or K-Shoal gets No More Heroes 3. You know what? I'm going to arbitrarily enter the raffle as well, but as you all know, I have to get the highest number 2 times. For Nexus Hunter, 25. For K-Shoal, 16. For me, 33. I might actually win this, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh, to clarify, while I did promote my funding links in chat, donations do not in any way, shape, or form influence the odds of winning. As you all know, these raffles are handled in the fairest way possible by cosmic background noise. FitRandom.org. And my second number is 51, beating both K. Shull and Nexus Hunter twice. Now I feel kind of bad about this because I am curious about No More Heroes 3. But will I remember to actually play it? Will I have the time to actually play it? How difficult will it be to actually play it? I guess I'll just have to find out. Okay, Shull, Nexus Hunter, did either of you really want this game and expected to play it? Because I'm prepared to reroll. Hello? Is this thing still on? I think I'm just going to have to accept having won. It feels wrong. Well, I guess congratulations to me on winning No More Heroes 3. Oh, right. Maybe not. Ignore the knight. The knight is not relevant to anyone. You didn't see that. Okay. 58, we're done here.
Understood, Director.
58, we're ending the stream. Please say the outro.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable.
Perfect.
Gladly, Director.
Stream died like 15 minutes ago. The hell.
ストリームダイドライク15民英語
Well, this is thoroughly infuriating. On the bright side, monthly budget goal has been reached. Yay! I'm deeming this raffle null and void. Chat going out is hitting Twitch and Kick. Why not the others? Nope, there's no fix for it. Just raffle null and void, we'll try again. For your part, 58, you did great.
Processing, Director.
You did great, 58.
Thank you, Director.